The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to my show, The Right Side. Doug Billings with you, coming to you from smack dab in the middle of the fruited plain. And speaking of the fruited plain, wow, what a story we have that has been flying under the radar in the heart of America. It should be on everyone's mind, however. This is really one of those issues where the globalist agenda takes over and it flies under the radar, very well hidden, not noticed until now. And I'm talking about something that is happening in the state in which I live, the state of Kansas. Now, this applies, again, as almost every show that I do applies to you no matter where you live. So don't freak out just because I said this is a Kansas story. It applies to you. We have a communist-socialist governor, formerly known as Democrat, these people, Laura Kelly. She has just signed what is called a memorandum of understanding. Yes, a memorandum of understanding, ladies and gentlemen, because these things sound so official when they say it as such. And she has signed this memorandum of understanding with the People's Republic of Korea. And yes, that's South Korea, in case you're from Raytown, Missouri. The South Koreans border, of course, as you know, little Kim Jong-un over there in North Korea. And the deal sets up a reciprocal driver's license adventure for us, right? Allowing Koreans, Korean nationals, or whoever to come over here and just easily swap out their driver's license for a Kansas driver's license. No tests, no verification, just a swap because of a memorandum of understanding. And it may sound innocent, okay? And the radical liberal trolls and others who troll me will say, oh, Billings, come on, it's a simple little thing. It's not a big deal. It's a driver's license. They're just helping out. You know, Doug, students, professionals, travelers. But look, folks, I mean, how many students, professionals, and travelers come over and stay long enough whereby they need to swap out a driver's license? It's textbook globalism, wrapping foreign giveaways in economic fairy tales while eroding away American sovereignty, American jobs, one state at a time. This is what they're good at, the radical liberals, flying under the radar, making things sound so simple and pleasant. A memorandum of understanding for South Koreans just to come over and exchange driver's license. And we can do the same thing when we go over there. How many of you people in Kansas are going to go to South Korea and want to trade out your Kansas driver's license? Give me a break. So let me paint the picture for you. Governor Kelly, a communist socialist and a thorough radical liberal through and through. She announces this story on Monday, the 10th of November, right? She's been cozying up to South Korea and their investors for a number of years, right? Jetting off to Seoul, South Korea, courting battery plants, tech firms, all sorts of foreign cash she wants to flow into the state of Kansas. And she brags about mutual economic prosperity, Doug. Yes, this will bring us mutual economic prosperity. Now, she doesn't have an English accent, but she makes it sound so haughty and so benevolent, so benign. We'll grow the Kansas economy through Korean investment. Really grow the Kansas economy through Korean investment. Let's just think that through. And when you think it through, the conclusion is, and the truth is, that this is a backdoor to yet more foreign influence in Kansas. Kansas law already lets Korean citizens come over here with their home driver's license for a short period of time. Why do we need to have a memorandum of understanding to make it permanent, whereby they can just simply hand over their driver's license and get a Kansas one in return? No tests, no essay questions, no hassle here. It's inferior. Look, Kansas has now joined about 20 other liberal. Well, Kansas is not thoroughly liberal yet. Kansas has a liberal governor, and Kansas, with its liberal governor, has joined other liberal governors doing this kind of nonsense. From a MAGA conservative perspective, It's not just paperwork we're talking about. This is a threat to our borders. And I'm not joking. It's a threat to Kansas jobs. It's a threat to American security. First of all, let's talk about security. In a world where China is infiltrating almost, it seems, everything about us, South Korea shares a border with one of China's key allies, North Korea, making it simpler for foreign nationals to get U.S. issued driver's license and IDs. Folks, that's playing with fire. Driver's licenses aren't just for driving. They are the keys to things like bank accounts, apartments, jobs, and even voting. Yes, Kansas has proof of citizenship laws on the books, and we've seen how those systems get gamed by people who have the will and the wherewithal to do it. I am not blaming Chris Kobach. He's done great. Big fan of Chris Kobach. But this Governor Kelly plan, this memorandum of understanding, the trading in of a license from foreign countries, and it could be any foreign country. I'm not picking on the people of South Korea. Conservative critics have been sounding the alarm on this kind and other similar deals for years. And I've pointed out how these kinds of things can lead to fraud, can lead to identity theft, can lead to more election integrity issues, and all because of a driver's license being handed to a foreigner because of a memorandum of understanding. Republicans in states like Florida and Georgia have been cracking down on this and refusing to recognize out-of-state licenses that are issued to undocumented folks or documented visitors into this country. Let them keep their own foreign driver's license. Thank you very much. We're not going to give American-issued IDs out to non-American citizens. We're only going to give them to people who belong here. So this Kansas deal is a slippery slope, you guys. Today, South Korea. Tomorrow, who knows who else is going to be given licenses from Governor Laura Kelly. And don't get me started on the jobs issue, too. Governor Kelly ties this to Korean investments. There's going to be a lot of Korean money flowing into the state, Doug, so don't give me too much trouble. When she says foreign investments, that is code. That is liberal code for foreign companies shipping in their own workers on visas, undercutting American wages and jobs. South Korea sends thousands of students, thousands of professionals to the United States every year. Now, if they're in Kansas, they can drive around just like locals, politely staying longer, right? Competing for jobs in tech, in manufacturing, maybe on farms. Who knows? President Trump has built his movement on America first, ladies and gentlemen. Where is America first in this? Trump has put in place tariffs, temporary tariffs to get people to the bargaining table, to make sure that we can get America first and renegotiate trade deals to stop the sellouts. But governors like Laura Kelly are still playing her old games, out of the old liberal playbook, luring in foreign cash, foreign investment with perks that leave Kansans holding the bag. We've seen it in other states as well. Big promises of jobs, but often it's low-wage gigs for imports while locals in the state get sidelined. You research the big battery plant that Governor Kelly got in Kansas and what a debacle it has been. Conservative analysis screams about this kind of thing. This is globalism over patriotism. It's really that simple. You prioritize things as a Democrat. Cultural exchange sounds so pleasant, so friendly, so benign, right? And shared values. We need to all just get along. We need to share our values with Koreans while ignoring our real shared value. The shared value, of putting Americans first. And then you've got safety. It's another big one. So South Korean driver standards. I want to know, I'm asking for a friend, are South Korean driving standards the same as ours? Are their roads any different? Their cities are much more compact, more densely populated. How does driving on one of our rural roads affect their driving ability? Is it easier? Is it more difficult? Has there been any testing done to see if they can handle it? How about reading? Can they read English proficiently? Can they read American traffic signs and signals with proficiency? Asking for a friend, because mismatched training on this can be deadly. And accidents cause insurance costs to go higher. This is a news item that has been out there for weeks. California, how many stories about foreigners driving vehicles killing Americans do we need to hear before we begin to take this kind of thing seriously? And critics of the reciprocity deals, like me, they point to potential license mills where standards slip, unqualified drivers on the road, danger increases for everybody out there. And it's clearly been a recent topic in American news. And, you know, we're in the age here of cyber threats, of theft, of intellectual property. And these IDs, these licenses, they could be a vector for hacking or for forgery, right? We've got enough problems with fake documents from cartels in this country. Thank you very much. Why add more foreign variables to the problem? And it's not about South Korea, like I said. Love South Korea. They're great allies. When they come over here, when they immigrate legally, they assimilate into our country, not talking about the people of South Korea. But under President Trump, we're finally standing tall in this kind of arena, the immigration arena. We're deporting the illegals. We're securing the borders. We're putting an end to foreign endless entanglements. It's not isolationism either. This is protecting ourselves. This is common sense. It's conservative values over liberal leniency. Deals like Governor Kelly's undermine all of that. And in the 20 states that have jumped on board with this, in liberal havens like California, Washington, Oregon, you know, Illinois, all of it, where is the real reciprocity? Where is it? How many Kansans, like I asked earlier, how many Kansans are rushing over to Korea to get Korean driver's licenses? It benefits the elites, corporate executives, diplomats, while it exposes everybody. John and Jane Doe on the streets of Topeka are exposed to risks. We all are, folks. Conservative voices from mine, grassroots local people in Kansas and other states, they've opposed stuff like this for years. Weakens our immigration controls, weakens our job prospects, weakens the economy, favors other people instead of Americans. In Kansas, with its history of fighting non-citizen IDs, thank you, Chris Kobach, it feels like this is a betrayal. It feels like Governor Kelly is just trying to put the screws to Chris Kobach in a way, because he's gotten the better of her in almost every other way. You know, hypothetically, if I were governor of Kansas, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Let me really spin people's heads. If I were governor of Kansas, as a full-throated MAGA conservative, the only true one in the mix, by the way, as a political outsider, which is what the founding fathers were, I'd make it one of the centerpieces of my campaign. I would blast Governor Kelly in almost every speech. While you're handing out driver's licenses to foreigners, Governor, where's the help for the Kansas farmers that we need, that are crushed by Biden-era policies and inflation? What about families that are hit by high energy and all these windmills and sun factories that you want to build? What about all of these families that are affected? How are they benefiting from driver's licenses for Koreans? I'm just asking for a friend, Governor. I would pledge and would scrap this memorandum of understanding on day one of my office. Full audit, by the way, ordered from me for all foreign deals in the state. I would make sure that background checks are locked down and ironclad. No foreign entity owns any property or any business in the state. And we would tie any reciprocity to proven benefits for Kansans and Americans only. And then as governor, I would go further than that. I would partner with Trump's Department of Justice. You're damn right I would, in a lot of ways, to enforce strict visa overstays. Maybe we would talk about offering tax breaks to companies that hire United States, Kansas citizens, and veterans first. How about that for starters? And we would push legislation. I would work with the legislature. Let's get something in place that bans state IDs for non-citizens. This is ridiculous that we're even talking about it, but that's the hallmark of liberalism. They get us talking about this utter nonsense, whether it's open borders, the myth and the mental disorder of transgenderism, or now this, giving driver's licenses for free to people who come over from Korea. First Korea, then who knows what. I would rally the base in Kansas with town halls across the state, with rallies across the state. In Kansas, we're the breadbasket of not just the Midwest, but of the world. So let's keep our roads, let's keep our jobs, let's keep our IDs and our driver's licenses American. Thank you. No more backroom globalist deals like this kind of nonsense. And this is where the Kansas GOP and the Kansas voters need to put forth bold candidates. No more of this milquetoast political insider nonsense who can't get elected, who are too afraid to be bold to say this kind of stuff out loud, who can't win a room against a real MAGA conservative. You put me in a room, ladies and gentlemen, with the candidates that are running currently, I win the room every time. It's not an ego statement. It's a matter of fact. We have to agree and know what our gifts are. You cannot win with the people that are running. And they only talk about this kind of stuff. Now, they'll copy me. They'll try to find a way to weave this into their campaign now. But they only talk about this stuff when the election season is upon them. You've got people running for office. You've got people running for governor, running for secretary of state, who deny that we have election integrity issues in the state of Kansas or in the country. And the only reason they give a hint that there might be is because it's election season. Where are the real conservatives who are not afraid to speak up no matter what time of year it is? Election integrity. It ties in, this license deal ties into it, and there are far too many people running for office that have denied it, that we have that problem. Now, we've had good, Chris Koba in the legislature has done great things with voter ID and so forth in Kansas. I tip my hat when the tip of the hat is needed and when it's earned. But this is a fiasco that is not good, giving driver's licenses to foreigners. It's a microcosm of the swamp is what it is. Elites trading away our future for foreign favors. That's what it is. That's the globalist agenda. And with MAGA momentum and with a candidate who's not afraid to say this, we can stop it. Now, I'm only being hypothetical with you about the governorship. If I were governor, day one, this reciprocal driver's license nonsense and the memorandum of understanding is ended day one. And if you like this content, ladies and gentlemen, please head over to YouTube. I was just given my YouTube channel back. I spent 4 years in YouTube jail, folks. YouTube writes me an email and say, well, we canceled you by mistake. Yeah, sure. They canceled me because I'm a conservative. I'm a MAGA political outsider, yada, yada, but I'm back. And the YouTube name, you want to look for at the right side, Doug Billings. At the right side, Doug Billings. Head on over there. Take a look. Content like this, subscribe and set your notifications so that you're notified when new content from me drops. That is your call to action. Otherwise, spread this show, spread this edition. Talk to your fellow Kansan Republicans. We have got to right our ship before the midterm and the primary elections next year. We're in this thing together, ladies and gentlemen. You know that. Believe it. for Kansas, for the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, Doug Billings. Hey, my good friends at EMP Shield, that's electromagnetic pulse, in case you're from Raytown, Missouri. Electromagnetic pulse could wipe out your home electrical system, could wipe out your vehicle. And thanks to the radical liberal agenda that was put forth under Administrator Biden and Vice Pretender Harris, there are lots of people in this country who want to do us harm. And maybe an EMP device would be their chosen weapon. But EMP Shield gives you a device that can protect you. This little baby here goes on your home outlets, a computer, a router, whatever you want to protect. And then they also have a larger model like this. You can still hold it in the palm of your hand that goes on your vehicle battery so that you can get out of trouble from point A to point B. EMPshield.com. Promo code Doug, ladies and gentlemen. Save yourself, save your property. EMPshield.com. Promo code Doug. We're in this together, folks. Believe it. For the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.